Good evening, good evening, good evening to each and every one of you all. Welcome. It is Thursday, which means what? It's time for Tea Time with Tasha. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I meet you here every Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. to talk about money matters. And today is no different, so let's go ahead and get started. Just want to make sure that you all are able to see me clearly on Facebook. So just bear with me a moment as I check. So, and there I am. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for joining me this evening. I am truly thrilled to be here with you all. And as I say every Thursday, I'm not going to be before you long. So this Thursday is no different. So when it comes to money matters, we've talked about budgeting, we've talked about saving. Um, But we've not talked about discipline. And what does discipline look like? Well, it's not something that is very, very easy. Good evening, Phyllis. Um, but it's something that we all need in our financial journey is discipline. So there are three R's that I'm going to share with you all this evening. One is reality, responsibility, and restraint. And so recognizing, so unless you come into a great deal of money, you get rich all of a sudden from somewhere money comes falling in your lap, you're going to have a limited amount of time and you're going to have a limited amount of money to use. That's a reality. If you handle your money wisely, and by handling your money wisely, you can do a lot of good for yourself as well as those individuals that depend on you. Um, And if you spend all your money, it's nobody's fault but your own. You can't get mad at anybody because you chose not to be a good steward over what you were blessed with. And that's where responsibility comes in. And then remembering the idea of delayed gratification. Now, if you're an impulse shopper, delayed gratification is something you need to learn how to exercise. So you show restraint when you have self control and you save money versus for something or a goal that you have set in the future versus spending the money right now. So, what I want you all to get in the habit of doing one is coming to the reality that you are limited on your time and you're limited on your money, um, and being responsible and having restraints. So, the impulse shopping. Um, I used to be one of those ones that whenever I was in a mood, that was my comfort. I would go shopping. Um, kind of got out of that a long time ago because I got tired of taking stuff back to the store. So I want you all to practice, especially with Christmas coming up, um, restraints. So, yes, Glenn, delayed gratification. Um, okay, I do have questions for you all. Well, that in a nutshell is what I wanted to share with you all this evening. You all may not feel that it's important, but it is. When it comes to practicing or putting practices in place, it's pretty important. It is pretty important. Okay, so I know a couple of weeks ago, maybe last month, we talked about debt and things that you should know, knowing your rights when it comes to your debt and what debt collectors can do and what they can't do. So I did have a couple of questions to come in with regards to that. And one was what types of debts um, are covered. So when it comes to debt collectors, credit card debt, auto loans, medical bills, student loans, mortgages, other household debts are considered, or they would fall up under that umbrella um, for the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. Um, the next question was, how can a debt collector contact me? Debt collectors can call, they can send letters or emails, and even text messages to collect the debt. Um, let's see what. Let's see. What are debt collectors allowed? What are debt collectors not allowed to do? They're not allowed to threaten you. They're not allowed to use obscene or profane language. And they're not allowed to repeatedly use the phone to annoy you. That would be considered harassment. They can't lie. For example, they can't misrepresent the amount of money you owe. They can't lie about being attorneys or government representatives. Um, and they can't falsely claim that you'll be arrested or claim legal actions will be taken against you if it's not true. So I know there's some debt collectors that will go to the extreme to try to collect the debt. Um, so let's see, what was another question? Can a debt collector contact anyone else about my debt? They cannot discuss your debt with anyone but you or your spouse. Um, if you are representative or if you have an attorney representing you, they can speak with the attorney about your debt. But a collector can contact other people to find out your address or your phone number or where you work, but they can't contact them about the debt itself. So I know with some auto loans, with some loans, period, they actually ask you to list references. And those individuals that you've listed as references are the individuals that they will call to try to get a message to you, to try to verify your address or get a phone number for you. So just keep that in mind. Um, let's see. Oh, times. That was one other thing that I did not share with you. They cannot call you before 8 o'clock and they cannot call you after 8 p.m. Unless you have agreed to it, unless you have asked them to call you outside of that time frame. But those are the only times that they are allowed to call you between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. And it has to be in your time zone. So, all right. So, if you all have any questions that you all want to ask me, um, feel free to text me if you don't want to put it in the chat, and I can answer them there. If not, I'll go ahead and close it out for this evening. Um, I did want to have a conversation with you all about the time and moving it back to 8 o'clock. Hey, Aunt Clara. Moving it back to 8 o'clock or maybe even 7:30. And the reason I say that is because I find myself at 8:30 getting ready uh, to go to bed on other nights because I get up so early in the morning. So you all let me know what your thoughts are about that. But if I don't have any questions, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. I thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all. I don't know about next Thursday. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I might come on for a little while. We'll see. Y'all have a good evening.